Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I am John Palacio.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And thank you for joining us this morning, man. Paul, good morning.
Good morning.
Man, I like the watch, boy.
Thanks, man. Look how they can't watch me and then in a public then they watch me too much. John, they set me up.
Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful morning out. Somewhat overcast here in the city, but nonetheless, It's still beautiful. There are people out there walking around, doing their little workout. Folks are going to work. We know that everybody is alive.
Even in the rain, we see that people are committed to getting that early morning exercise.
Yeah, of course.
I think a lot of it has to do, for the most part, because it's the new year. You know how people, when you set
really
that new year,
well?
listen, you set that new year resolution, now is the time to get it in. It's like the new year resets your mind and give you a type of motivation when a Easter or summer or Christmas gives you. But it's not a bad thing, you know, John, because you could ride that wave and get the results where you want.
Exactly where we started, bro, in terms of riding the wave and getting the results. Look, the resolution is serious, and a lot of people do it. And I'm so glad that at least at the start of the year, there are a few people who think about it, and then there are new people who will jump on board.
Yeah.
Because I think there is a running club online now with Mr. Salazar, and now you're going out there, you do your thing. As a matter of fact, I think for the entire year there is 1,000 key. You could do 1,000 key for the year, which boils down to I think about 3,000 miles, somewhere around there. 1,000 miles. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but I was tempted to.
Yeah.
When I said, man, make I think about it, leave it. But it boils down to like 52 miles a month.
What's your small encouragement to people who want to get into like running and doing that as their main form of workout, but they're not sure if
they want to do it, especially with knees and stuff. Start now. Start now. Look, I tell a lot of people, you always wait until Monday. You know what? Monday I want to start. Why should Monday be a marker? Monday is already far away, which eventually puts you at a disadvantage, because your mind is going to tell you, Monday, I know you're in the mood, or something come up Monday, and then
so just jump up and start.
Just go. And I tell a lot of people this, pal. If you're going out there and when you left your house, you feel funny, or your knees or some part of your body feel funny, by the time you get by the gate, then turn back.
Okay.
Turn back. And you can do one and two things in the household.
Because it might only get worse.
Yes. Then tomorrow, if you're going out and you feel okay, but when you get maybe to the lane, you feel, I'm a little tired, or I'm trying to work on my breathing pattern, then turn back.
Yeah.
And you turn back. And you get home and you do one and two things. The next day, you go maybe lane and a half. And that is how you start. That is how you start. And as long as you start, pal, we know that you are going to win. That's just the way it is. Like, people want to win Bolido.
Yeah, they try.
If you don't buy one ticket, you can't win, boss.
That's true.
And that's the thing right there.
Yeah.
You need to start somewhere. You need to buy a ticket, or you need to, make the step. As long as you make the step, we know for a fact that your mind is in the right direction. Yeah. And that is that's my advice to people who want to start.
And I have a strong feeling that this is a winning year for many people. For many of our Belizeans.
And I wanna go on the positive with that as well, because while we might feel it is a winning year for some people, it is a winning year for everybody. Why do I say that? There'll be some people who might feel it's not the winning year, but they're not focusing on what they've learned from not being the winning year.
Right.
And as long as you focus on what you got out of it not being the winning year, you've won, because at least you gain knowledge. And then when 2024 come around, pal, you will know how to lay that platform or how to pave that road, because you won by not, according to you, not winning in 2023. Now you're going to win in 2024 because the blueprint from 2023 is there, and you were able to hold it back to see where the inequalities are and then you're going to apply the method. Nobody lose, pal. Everybody win.
That's such a great way to start the morning, John. I know that there's a couple things.
Oh, a lot of things going on in the news,
that's
man.
buzzing right now that we want to highlight.
Politics hot
Politics
right
hot,
now. That bill
definitely.
areas there. You know, tourism is hot. And from a positive standpoint, tourism is one of those that I definitely would have wanted to dive into. But there's also a story that's hot. There are two gentlemen in Belmopan.
Yeah.
Two older gentlemen. I think one is about 80, one is about 75. Somewhere around
that's
there.
That's exactly.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
That they were. There was a house. Their house was invaded in October of last year.
Right.
And stolen from them was $250,000 and $18.
Yeah.
And the wonderings are, how did somebody know that they had that money?
Yeah.
And the wondering again is, why did they choose to hold on to $250,000? The wondering, in what denomination? Because then you know, okay, you know, what's going on here? The wondering is, shouldn't it be in the bank? Is it illegal to not have that type of money in the bank?
Good question.
Wonderings are that it is alleged that police officers are involved.
Yeah.
So there's so many things to break down this story. The wondering is, they were told, hey, if you guys say anything, we're going to end your life.
Yeah.
They left the country the next day en route to Salvador. Coming back to Belize with the wonderings now that, you know what, we really need to go on in to make a report on this. Is it too late? There's so many questions to ask. Will you be able to find your money? Will you be able to get the justice that you're looking for? Why not make that report the day after and then be protected? What are your thoughts?
You know, in speaking with these two gentlemen, there's no reason that I have to not believe them. They were
passionate. You saw that, so you know the situation.
They were lying in their story, in telling me, in their account, telling me exactly what transpired. And you're right in saying there's so many layers to this story. What I understand is these gentlemen were previously Guatemalan nationals, so they migrated from Guatemala. They now have their Belizean documents intact because as old as they are, they were willing, like outrightly, let me show you our documents. Like they wanted me to know that they are Belizeans, that they are a member of our society, and that this is an injustice done unto them as Belizean citizens. And so they showed me all of that. I was able to see that. And what I gathered is that throughout their years, particularly Mr. Martinez, throughout his years, he spent decades working as employed as a construction worker. And this is where he has been able to garner his funds. This is where he's been able to get all his payments, and from that he's saved. This is his account, that he's saved all this money, and that he has it, and that he placed it in a bag, and he kept that money inside his home. Now, John, when you look at this home, it's a humble abode, in that it is unsuspecting to think that if you walk past this place, then they got 250 G's inside of the house, they in our chair. And when they walk out, they don't even own bicycles. They don't own a vehicle. They just have that money. He says, from what I gathered from what he says, what's valuable to him is land. He's a farmer at heart.
Yeah, he's a farmer.
And land is valuable to him. And so his thing is that he was going amassed this amount of money to purchase land.
Yeah.
The big question is, how did someone come to find out
that they had the money on
that
their
they
possession,
had this money in their possession? And I asked him that, and he kept saying something to the effect that he don't know. He does not know how they came about to know that this money was in their
possession.
Yeah.
The suspicion again that he had mentioned on the news is that when he reached out to certain people to buy a piece of land, you know,
deal went sideways.
That was a deal that went sideways for them, and that is how it seemed that you know, somebody caught up that, you know what, if you've got this, you're living in this household, you're living this lifestyle, extremely humble, nothing fancy, you know, but you're actually your mindset now is that, you know what, I need to purchase this piece of land. And from the looks of things, especially with that amount of money, it seemed that it would be a big plot of land. So how do you afford this? And so, you know, especially with you're living your lifestyle, must have mentioned, you know what, I don't have a bank account, but I could give you the cash. So all of these things are things that need to be investigated at this particular point.
Is there,
so it can be pinpointed as to who did this.
Is there a practice of keeping large sums of money here in Belize? And I know it's not a common conversation because you know nobody know that you have a large sum of money. But I wonder if there's a practice where people keep tens of thousands, perhaps even hundreds of thousands of dollars stashed inside their homes, and then it comes to the question of safety. Is that safe? And then it comes also to the question of whether or not you trust the bank with your money or you don't. Because people have that concern as well, specifically given the phishing scam.
The phishing scam.
That's ongoing right now.
That occurred over the course of last week. You know, so you're asking the right questions, bro, in terms of is people trusting the process. But I still feel that you've got a better way about it if you approach the banks and you know. But what you do, of course, you scrutinize the banks and you find out who's got the best security aspect of things for you, and that's what you do. But in the case of these gentlemen, you know, you know, somebody must have known something. Somebody must have known something. And there's so many times you hear about home invasions and you hear that the perpetrators goes direct for the safe. Or they ask, where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? You know, the learnings from that is that you need to know who to trust. And you need to know what kind of conversation you're going to have with other people. You know, and especially when you're under the influence, bro, we want to talk. I've got this, I've got that, I've got that. And, you know, being this boastful way of dealing with business and stuff like that, it's of no justice to you. So in cases like this, you know, find a bank that you know gives you the best product, and that's where you save your money. Or maybe the credit unions or whatever institution. But you don't go around, this is just my personal opinion, having a large sum of money and expect not for somebody to actually see something. Which brings me, Paul, and many a times I'd hear you know, Mr. Brasta come on the show years ago and say, if you see something, say something. It simply means that somebody always knows something, which means that we are able to help with the investigations. We are able to help the police officers rather than to blame that, oh, another look. Somebody knows something, Paul. Somebody have to know something. So if you know something, then come on out and say something. This is the only way we're going to get justice.
What's heartbreaking for me, though, because there is a heartbreaking aspect of it, which is that these elderly men were defenseless. You know that these men will not put up a fight as much as they may want to. And so that's something we'll continue to follow, John, as we progress into this week. Towards the end of this week, in fact, we're seeking a confirmation or some sort of information from police as to where that investigation will go and if these men can, in fact, recover those funds after 3 months. And so that's something we're going to look into. We'll be on top of it, like you mentioned, and you did an excellent job with covering that story as well. That's just a piece of the pie. Have these conversations. It's very important that you do so. But we need to move on. We've got the eye opener. Let's continue to motivate you throughout the day to have the conversation. Now, this one you're going to love, of course. This one is taken from dailyom.com, and it goes like this. Paul, you want to listen up. This one is very important. People that are know-it-alls are simply stuck in a pattern and may actually have feelings of low self-worth. Most of us have encountered a person in our lives who can accurately be referred to as a know-it-all or sabelo todo.
This person seems to know everything about anything and gets brought up and tends to dominate the conversation. They don't take well to being questioned, and they have a hard time ever admitting that they were wrong. On the other hand, or on the one hand, when we see the childlike need underneath the know-it-all's mask of confidence, we feel compassion for the person, and we may tolerate their one-sided approach to the conversation out of a desire not to hurt their feelings. On the other hand, Paul, we may be feeling drained and tempted to avoid this person altogether. Now, in the middle of these two possible ways of feeling, we may actually like this person and wish for a closer relationship. Now, if we come from a place of kindness, we might attempt to bridge the gap that this person's habitual way of relating creates. Simply expressing a desire to be closer may open their heart and give you a chance to ask for what you need in the relationship. And that's simply a chance to contribute. What's your feeling, bro?
You know, what I like about these eye-openers, John, is the fact that it always gives us the problem and the solution. Right? So it lays out the issue for you. And then right after it lays out the issue, which is that there are people that consider themselves, or we consider to be know-it-alls.
Sabelo todo.
They know everything. And people like that, you can't tell them nothing.
You can't tell them anything.
You can't question. Yeah. You can't give instruction or advice. They won't admit that they're wrong.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to want to avoid these people, because if you want to be quite honest, they make your life difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, I can't work with you. I didn't try. But man, the more I try, the more my life becomes difficult. And so what the eye-opener does for us, it tells us that you got to show a little kindness.
Show a little kindness. And that's a good church song.
That's our good church song.
Yeah,
and even in showing that kindness, you know, kindness does a lot. Kindness breaks down barriers that harsh words would never. And so it's showing kindness to break down that barrier, to build that relationship. Yeah. This is the solution in building that relationship. We may actually find that, now, because we have that connection, I can actually make my contribution.
That's right, which sums it up at the bottom there and give you a chance to ask for what you need in a relationship. That's what they do, and that chance is a chance to contribute.
Yeah.
That's exactly a great way to sum it up, because there are people like that. There are people like that. But the thing is, it's just to buy them into you as well. Show them an act of kindness, show them kindness, and they'll eventually be able to walk that paved road for you. And I like the word kindness simply means I'm giving you that paved road. And because I'm giving you that, something great to walk on, that's what you're going to give back.
There's one philosopher with a quote that has stuck with me all the way through high school, that says, the only thing I know is that I know nothing at all. Right? You go into every situation as if you know minimum, the bare minimum about that topic. And that way, you expand your mind and you learn a lot more.
And that's the reason why I love this show.
Yeah.
Is that, it's a university for us.
Indeed.
It's like an encyclopedia. You learn new things every day, which brings me to say that every day is for you to learn. So basically, you don't know anything, and then while you go through your day, you apply the method. That's the way it is. All right? Yeah. But it's that time of the morning, buddy, whereby we'll apply the method of what the weather is going to be like to let you know exactly how to get your day started. And I'll tell you what, man, we've got folks on the line here. Morning, neighbor.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Happy
to you and Paul, man. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year, neighbor. I don't think we talked since then, just to say.
No.
Wow.
No. When I tell about the cold front for Christmas Day,
that was it.
I had to give people the message to give you.
Yeah. You know what? we are all right, neighbor. But let's get on into this weather to find out what we should be expecting for today, January 11th, and of course a couple of days out. Let's start with the general situation. What should we expect?
Okay, right now, John and Paul, we have a relatively moist eastern northeasterly air flow prevailing. And for today, that will give way to a few showers and possible and isolated thunderstorms that will develop mainly along the coast this morning. coastal areas and down south. And by afternoon, those activities will move inland and become isolated. Then we expect that the showers will redevelop again tonight and early morning, mostly down south. Elsewhere, the shower activity will be isolated. So expect sunny skies today with some cloudy intervals. The high temperatures for today will range from 84 along the coast, 87 inland, and 74 up in the mountains. Tonight, temperatures drop to 74 along the coast, 68 inland, and 62 up in the higher elevation. As I said before, a few showers and possible isolated thunderstorms will develop mainly along the coast and south during the daytime, and by afternoon, these activities move inland and become isolated, and then redevelop tonight, mostly down south. Yeah. Our winds east and northeast, 5 to 15 knots, and sea state will be light sharp. The outlook due to Thursday night is for cloudy spells, and showers will be isolated except for a few more showers to develop over the south late night and early morning.
All right.
That's basically what I have for you. But the good news, John, we have a cold front coming in.
So adjustment.
Weekend, right?
For this weekend, a cold front is coming in.
Well, for those
so you could keep those jackets out, John.
Woo. Yeah, we're gonna do that. But you know what? While they're long weekends, there are a lot of people who prefer to flock to watering holes. You know, we're going to Key, we're going to Cayo, we're going to PG, we're going to maybe cross the border.
Because you won't come with much rainfall or anything, so
it's just going to be cool.
Nice and cool.
Man, that's so good.
You could go take this dip, man. You could take the dip in the water. Well, but anyway, it's nice, man. Nice.
No, and nice and cool means...
Nice weather for the weekend.
Nice and cool mean no pool.
Hey.
Catherine, we're so grateful to have you join us this morning. Thank you.
You're welcome, John and Paul. Have a great day and stay safe.
All right,
you
there
too.
you go.
Well, there you go, John.
Yeah.
Cool front, they come eat.
Yeah, cool front is going to be here.
Yeah.
You know, when she said John and Paul, it reminded me of the song. I said, who you walk out, John Paul? If you call your brother, so. All right, we need to tell you exactly what to expect for the morning. It's going to be a great one. We've got 3 wonderful conversations. As a matter of fact, we'll be kicking things off this morning with the Minister of Tourism and Diaspora Relations. Now, there are big visions in 2023, and the Minister, who is Anthony Mahler, the Honorable Anthony Mahler, will be joining us this morning to talk about his vision for 2023.
And of course, in our second conversation, we'll be having representatives from the YWCA, and they'll be joining us to talk about the YWCA's Adult Skills Program. We talked about the new year being the right time to learn something new, to start something new. Well, YWCA will be in to tell us a bit about their Adult Skills Program, something you may be interested in joining.
Yep, and we'll be summing things up very interesting, Paul, because you know, I think this is definitely a way forward, especially in providing justice for families. Now, the NFSS, or the Belize National Forensic Science Crew, they'll be in to talk to us about you know, their technical assistance and capacity building in forensic anthropology and forensic biology for the identification of human skeletal remains and for planning of a population genetic study to aid in establishing in-country DNA analysis. This is a way forward, bro, in terms of getting down to the nitty-gritty of things. And of course, it is for the everyday use. You know, there's so many things that we need DNA for. There's so many ways in which it is used, and they'll be telling us exactly how to go forward with this one.
Yeah, that's big.
So those are the conversations for this morning. We're looking forward to all 3 of them. We hope that you are too. But I'll tell you what, if you're going to brush your teeth right now, try to do that really quick, because we'll be back shortly to get things started for you. We'll be talking about tourism in 2023 when we come back. Stay with us.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Communicate, collaborate, and improve your efficiency with Dell. At Cellular World, we carry a full line of Dell's innovative equipment, including high-performance desktop computers backed up by a 3-year warranty, Latitude notebooks, monitors, docking stations, keyboards, laptop bags, and other accessories. If you're shopping for your home or office, we have the Dell products for you. Dell has the machines to help you get in the game. Browse online and never miss a beat with your business. Visit us at any of our Cellular World branches in Belize City, Belmopan, and San Pedro, or shop with us online. Cellular World, low prices, more choices.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Deja mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
All right, and welcome back, and we're moving now into our first segment for the morning. And like we had mentioned to you, we are actually now joined by the minister himself, the Honorable Anthony Mahler, who is the Minister of Tourism and Diaspora Relations. We see what 2022 has done in terms of the tourism aspect of things, but there must have been a vision. There is no way you're going to make a plan, but you don't have a vision in terms of what you want to do or where you want to go. And the minister is in, he's got his vision, and that's where we'll be talking about, or what we'll be talking about for the morning. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, gentlemen.
It's always nice to have you in, man.
Morning, Belize. I want to say blessings to you and your families for 2023. I hope it's much better than 2020, 2021, and 2022.
I tell you what, that's the hope. Everybody hope that, you know, it's going to be better. But like I told Paul, you know, there is always the learning aspect of things. So when we feel it is not better for us, chances are we're learning how to make it better for the days to come or the years to come. Now, let's get into this vision, man. We've seen in 2022, Minister, and of course from whence you've gained this portfolio, from whence you've won, you came in with a vision. You came in with a vision to make sure that this country is being marketed the right way. Mm-hmm. We are seen in many various aspects of this world, so much so that CNN actually is saying one of the best countries to visit. There are 23 best countries to visit, and Belize is one of them. Yeah. Let's talk about when you got in, how you found this country, and what was your thoughts to make it better with tourism, and then we'll go from there.
Well, good question. When we got in November of 2020, we were still in the midst of the pandemic, and so it was difficult. You had a lot of properties still being locked down. Mm-hmm. A lot of the businesses weren't operating to full strength. Many of the tourism employees had left for other industries, call centers, agriculture, etc., etc. So it was a very, very difficult time. And when you say my vision, I think it's a collective vision, because I have worked in tourism for a long time. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of the stakeholders. The first thing I did was to organize a countrywide destination visit, or destination visits. And we spoke to key stakeholders in each of the major destinations to see what and how they want for us to reach the end goal for tourism. And so the first thing we did, though, in 2020 was to establish a tourism recovery task force, which then was emulated by the national task force for the country. Mm-hmm. And we consulted, created and developed a recovery plan, which include restructuring the marketing, introducing back training into the system. There was a cry in the past for that during the high season they're too busy and to do training, and during the low season they're too broke. Yeah. So we said that we were going to focus back on service excellence in the industry. Yeah. And we want to compete with the best destinations around this world. We have been blessed with wealth untold, like the anthem says, but there's still a lot of shortcomings for the basic infrastructure in the country, meaning human and the physical infrastructure. Yeah. So roads leading to attractions. In fact, just in major urban centers, you need some vast improvements for us to be considered a truly first-class tourist destination. Yeah.
You know, it's one of the complaints that we hear often about this type of service that is offered in Belize, that we have bad customer service. I'll just put it in plain English like that. People will come and say, and I've seen the reviews where people would come and say, man, that attraction was beautiful, but the type of service that they're accustomed to in other countries across the world, and then you come to Belize and you have this amazing product, but the customer service is not up to the standards that they've experienced. What have we been doing? I think you're talking about some trainings. What have that really been focusing on? What has been some of the initiatives you've engaged in?
Well, but I'll also put that in most surveys, visitors, and I prefer to call them guests because many of our visitors live international and they're Belizeans coming back. So our guests coming home and coming to Belize say that one of the key factors that they like when they experience the product here in Belize is the friendliness of our people.
That we have. So definitely.
Right. So that comes naturally for us, right? Yes. For me, I believe that when we got in, the training budget was somewhere around $26,000. I immediately said that is impossible. Right. I want to increased that significantly. Yeah. And so it's around $700,000 now.
So it was 26K nationally. So we could use
nationally. No, right. That's I mean, a drop in the bucket. No, that's a pittance. You can't do anything with that. And I found the tour guide training at somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000. I say impossible. We're coming out of COVID. People are struggling. We want more people to be attracted to the industry. Mm-hmm. Bring that down to about $400, $500 per course. Mm-hmm. From somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000. So we have naturally nice people and friendly people, so we can train up. Yeah. For example, I was in Barbados the other day, the Palmarine Training Center. Mm-hmm. That has been there since 1967. So I'm on a mission that by the end of this year, we will either ground break or launch the first tourism training institute in Belize. And so we're working out the curriculums and the curriculums for each program that we're going to offer, mm-hmm. And how we believe it's best for longevity and for sustainability, the structure of the training institute, because we've seen in the past many training institutes start and fail. Obviously it has to be subsidized by the government, and we're prepared to do so by the BTB. But to me, the sensible thing to do is to partner with the Ministry of Education. They know more about that than we do. And so you have underutilized IT vets throughout the entire country. So use those instead of building brick and mortars all over the place. Use those facilities that are there. If we need to retrofit them for certain types of training, then we do so. And we have a cadre of trainers, high-level trainers throughout the country. Obviously, you have to start with train the trainers as well, right?
Mm-hmm. So we're still, after looking at the news last night, we're still accordingly not to the numbers of 2019. Yeah. But it seems that 2022 will be bringing out some serious positive numbers. Let's sum up. Give us a quick synopsis of what 2022 was like for your ministry.
Well, a large portion for overnight, right? Yeah. The large portion of 2022, still we had Omicron the first quarter of the year. Yes. The borders were closed pretty much until April, May, somewhere around there, and so people couldn't come in there. Right now, we had a discussion in cabinet because the borders represent in 2019 about 20 to 25% of the overnight arrivals. So somewhere around 100,000 people would come through the northern and western borders primarily. And they would come from the north via the bus companies out of Mexico, and the west out of Guatemala. Now, to try to improve the quality of the transportation system in Belize, we said that we won't allow these buses back until our people can bring up their quality and compete, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we could have a reciprocal arrangement with Mexico and Guatemala, so our buses can go over there. For many of the bus companies, the problem is that the quality of their equipment can't run in Mexico, can't run in Guatemala. So the reciprocal arrangement is something that we've been waiting for because we want to improve the quality of the buses in Belize. Mm-hmm. And it is important for us to bring in people to the borders as well. And so the numbers through the borders are lagging. If you look at the entire arrivals for overnight, you're talking about Europe wasn't open until relatively recently. Canada wasn't open until relatively easy. So for a large portion of the year last year, those numbers were suppressed. Now we're seeing a gradual uptake, but you have inflation, you have a lot of things, right? Yeah. Airline tickets are expensive, and we've been speaking to the airlines to see if they can reduce prices so that more people can come to Belize and other destinations throughout Central America and the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. You know, and while those issues remain, one thing is clear, Belize is becoming more known. the product, the package is becoming more known across the globe. Talk a bit about what we've been doing in terms of marketing to get to these countries, these regions like Europe, America, Canada. We see the billboards, we see the articles, and at least to me, it's apparent that they're more now.
The Grab Life taxis in London, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, the taxis in London.
I have a marketing background. My first degree was in marketing. I spent 13 years at Smart doing that, developing every product and putting it into the market. Some were successful, some failed, but then you go back and tweak it and then come back again. Yes, you learn, right? And so I come with there's a thing called guerrilla marketing, right? Mindset. We don't have the big budget like other big destinations, but to me, with social media, with technology, with being creative in key areas, you can compete. But when you grow the numbers, then you need more quality rooms. Of course. You need more quality tour operations. Like for example, when I was in London, middle of last year, we spoke to people in the trade in the UK, and all of them said, but we want to sell Belize more, but you don't have a full-fledged destination management company. No, I went to Trim the other day and I met this young man who says that they're starting one with a group out of Costa Rica here in Belize. So for them to be selling Belize, they would have to use a destination management company out of Panama, out of Costa Rica, out of Mexico. That doesn't work for me. We should be able to have one here, and we should help it to succeed, right? Yeah. And so we're looking at that, how we can partner with the private sector to ensure that we have some destination management companies in the country. So there are a lot of nuances in the industry that you may not see. You see the marketing, you see the billboards in Times Square, that type of thing. A creative thing was that we took over the entire Empire State Building, and did a yoga session up there. And
how do you even make these things happen?
Yeah. Well, we have good partners, specifically in the United States and the UK, and we have a gentleman, Xander, out of Holland. These people have a passion for Belize as well. They've been working with Belize for some time now, and they know the product. The Zimmerman group out of Florida, they've recently come on board, but they have a passion for Belize as well. Now, where I have a problem is in Mexico. That company has been there for some time, but yet we have 120 million Mexicans next door, and only 7,000 came in 2019 for overnight visits. That is, I think, and that's disgraceful.
It's a huge market. You probably have more Belizeans traveling to Mexico.
People don't know is that Mexicans dive a lot.
Okay.
Right? And so Belize should be a key place for them
to want to dive.
The same thing in Latin America. We have a group out there that I don't think fully understands the product. They haven't immersed themselves in the product to understand it. And so I've asked for RFPs to be put out for those locations. I've waited 2 years to see some results. They've asked me to be, I don't have patience. We're responsible for 50% of this economy, and you're talking about in the height of COVID, we have somewhere around 60-65% poverty rate, and 30% unemployment, 33% unemployment. And the tourism industry is the main driver for the economy, with major intersectoral linkages to agriculture, fisheries, construction, you name it, transportation. And so I don't have time to waste. 2 years, I believe, is enough for them to have proven themselves to me. And so we're going to move on.
But so, you know, I'm sure there are studies being done, because we know why Caribbean folks aren't making it across to Belize. We don't have direct flights to these areas. They need to make it to America. They need to make it to Panama so they could come to Belize, which even if you come to Panama, that one time for the week. So what do you think is the shortfall there? What do you think? Why, if Belizeans flock to Mexico, right across the Chetumal, and everybody I tell you this weekend coming up now a long weekend, so people going. So why do you feel it's not the same way with us or them coming here? What do you think with the shortfall plan?
Again, we don't have a direct flight. People don't understand the product. In Mexico, a lot of people, Mexico City. Now in Chetumal, they know about Belize. In the Quintana Roo area, they know about Belize. But in the bigger municipalities in Mexico, they don't know about Belize.
Because it's huge. Mexico is huge.
And when you talk about the Caribbean, right? I was in Barbados today, the other day, for a book launch. One of my mentors, she wrote a book about, a memoir about her life being in tourism as a tourism pioneer and one of the leading trainers in the Caribbean. And she asked me to be her keynote speaker at the book launch. And I started, and these are highly educated people in the room. You had about 100 people. Most of them in Barbados didn't understand what Belize was until a portion of my speech spoke about all the assets that we have in this country. The same time I was in London, we had a Belize day. So we took Chef Quilin to bubble some dishes.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, you know, he could do it, right? And then we took a Garifuna drummer who I met in PG the other day, who lives in Scotland or Ireland, so one out of the two.
Ronald McDonald.
Ronald McDonald.
So family.
So when I say, who is the drummer? Ronald McDonald. I just give him on the joke. I say, you know what I'm going to think? This is Ronald McDonald, the burger guy. So no man, you sure this man could beat drum? Well, the man good. The man skilled. The man know how to entertain.
Yes.
He's a humble guy, nice guy.
Yeah.
It was good to see him in Punta Gorda town the other day.
Yeah.
Just last week, Thursday or Friday, I met him.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
He said he came home to visit and that type of thing for the holidays. But I asked people in the press, people in the trade, big group, maybe 200, 300 people there for the Belize Day. I say, if you can show me a destination as diverse as Belize, as accessible as Belize, I will give any one of you and your family a full paid trip to Belize. This is my email. You write me. I had a few people who wrote. Some said Cambodia. Some, but you know, have the second largest barrier reef. You know, got the archaeological sites. You know, got the diversity of the people. You know, right. So nobody won.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we are extremely special. And so it irks me when I see grown people throwing garbage on the street all over the place. We spend an inordinate amount of money trying to clean the highways between myself and Honorable Julius Espat and other members who represent certain constituencies to try to keep their constituencies clean. And so that is why a few months ago we started the Civic Pride campaign. At the last Ruta Maya at Civic, I was standing waiting to go and give some trophies and medals with Mr. Villanueva. And the anthem was playing, and I saw this group of young women, intoxicated, but she was disgracing the anthem, like using, instead of the words, using profanities. Man, I mean, this is a representation of us.
Yeah.
And we have to project the best of us to the world, right? And that is my message as I move across this country and I speak to groups. We have to cherish our country. We can't tear down the mangroves and kill out the animals. One tree or one jaguar is much more, it could generate a lot more revenues than it being dead, right? Same thing with manatees, same thing with crocodiles, same thing with a lot of things, right? So we have to be responsible. Over the last, I read an alarming thing. Over the last 20 years, we've lost 57% of our forest cap. That's a serious thing. And so we discussed that in Cabinet yesterday, and we are going to put in measures to mitigate that.
Very important to note though, our country is going in a great direction with respect to tourism, but at the same time, Minister, we're seeing some serious criminal elements being, or criminal activities being done that eventually will, or continue to put a black eye on this country. When I heard the CNN news that, you know, we're one of the top 23 destinations to visit in 2023, then I think about the situation that occurred with Miss Bowens. I think about the situation that occurred at the other day with the flooding and stuff like that. There are people who would say, I'm not safe. I'm not in a position to actually be safe in a country like that. Yes, I love the people, I love the languages, I've read about it, but I don't feel safe. What are your thoughts on what occurred there? What are your thoughts on how people can be safe, or what assurance are you giving to tourists or guests in terms of being safe in this country?
I fully agree with you in terms of the issue of crime. It is going to be problematic for us if we don't arrest the situation quickly. I think the Minister of Police is doing a good job in trying his best to ensure that we are safe. We are partnering with them through the tourism police and other entities. We're trying a pilot here in Belize City with a little concierge group that works along with the tourist police, and so they look out in key areas where people are walking. And so we want to expand that countrywide, and we're looking at other things using cameras, and we're putting up a substation on North and Burgess. The day after that incident happened, myself, Andre Perez, and Kareem went out to San Pedro to meet with the family. I mean, it was just like, you didn't even want to celebrate no more, right? Just, can you imagine losing your child on your birthday?
On her father's birthday.
Yeah, on your birthday, right?
Yeah.
So the father, they were celebrating their father's birthday, and this rogue element of our society, and throughout Belize, there are some rogue elements. It's just a small group of people holding us hostage, you know. Like, I have no patience with the marketing agencies in Latin America and Mexico. I worse not have no patience for them.
Yeah.
And so we have to continue though. We have to continue to educate our people. We have to continue to improve the quality of life for everybody, so that crime isn't an option.
Yeah.
We have to be hard on them. But it was an isolated incident. And so that's not the norm for San Pedro. That's not the norm. It's just a sad situation that we keep in contact with the family.
Yeah.
We've briefed them significantly about what we've done in terms of capturing some of the suspects. And the same thing, when a Southside youth is gone down, people just say Belize City is unsafe, right?
Yeah.
They don't say it's just a
small portion.
A small portion of the city.
Yeah.
Like what we said, the kick up dust, right? And so we have to use policing techniques, technology, but we also have to have the social programs, improve housing, what I'm doing on Berger Field with the FFB and the Sports Council, and things like that. Those things are critical to ensure. If you don't want struggling youth in the hood, the New York, at some point you drive past Madison Square Garden and say, one of these days I sure I could play in it. I just have to be skilled. We maybe drive past Civic Center, right? Who that the heroes, male and female in his country, where young people look up to, saying that they want to emulate as they grow older. People want to be in the States, want to be like LeBron, they want to be like Messi, they want to be like this one, they want to be like Tom Brady, and the list goes on. So there's a social component that we seriously have to put in place, and the policing aspect of it.
Yeah.
And they go in parallel, hand in hand, and that's how you combat crime. That's how. But if you look at the murder the number of murders in 2022, it has gone on to 113 or something like that.
Minister, definitely you have a dual role in that. Not only are you the Minister of Tourism, you're also the area representative for Pickstock. So you have a dual role, and it's interesting that your constituency is in Belize City, where some of the flare-ups take place. So those flare-ups directly impact the work you do in tourism, in essence. Is that how you look at it when you approach the projects and the initiatives that you seek to implement to, as you call it, or say, quality of life in your constituency?
Well, I'll say Pickstock is the best division in the entire country. Well, we straddle both sides.
Definitely, you'd say that.
So we have some of the, some of the people like underestimate Pickstock, but we don't juggernaut in this country. If you just go around Pickstock a little bit, you have BWS there, you have Atlantic Bank, you have Civic Center, you have Boeing group of companies there, you have Kickdown Fence and Lychee. Plus Pratt's, you have Safeway Drugstore, you have Carpet Care, plus you have Zetas, you have Quality Chicken, and you got more.
A lot more.
Just so, I mean, and truly we have, again, it's just a small element that is rogue and that is disruptive. We have good, hard-working people in Pickstock, and I think they need good. I mean, my position is that you have to have good representation as well. And so, doing the social products, I don't really think about it's going to have an impact on tourism. My mindset is that it's going to change lives. No, my slogan was "Change Agent," and it's not going to be where 6 months before one election you start do all kind of thing in the first proper year, because people forget that the first year in government we were struggling through COVID. The economy was way down in the doldrums. I mean, usually they left it at ground level down one year. Before we left, we deep in our hole, right? Thank God we have very creative people in government, good people in government that have worked tirelessly to ensure that the economy rebuilds. And so that is a part of the process that we've gone through over the last 2 years. And so my focus is, I believe in a broken windows theory, right? If you fix up the neighborhood and then you have people and you educate them that this is yours, ensure that you respect it, no?
Respect it and take care of it.
And take care of it, right? You can't broke up. If we just spend so much money in Burgerfield, you can't go out there, go rip up the turf and go climb the fence and shake the fence until it broke down and kind of thing. It's yours. It's for the community. And so we've done Burgerfield, or we're in the process of doing Burgerfield. We built a small basketball court in Mayflower because there's a little overlap there, even though Mayflower is in Collet, for the community, right? We're working on the Mahogany Street corridor, so upgrading all the booths out there. We're also giving each business out there a credit of $1,500 to buy equipment, to buy supplies.
Where is that?
On Mahogany Street.
Right on Mahogany Street,
If you go out there, you'll see about 6 or 8 of the booths already completed. They're completing the bathroom. They've done the parking lot so that you can have parking. You have bathroom, clean bathroom for people to go out there rather than peeing on a post if you're a man, right? Because you see that all the time. Somebody pissing on a corner. All over the place. Just like, I must say like feel the breeze or something. I don't know. But you can't have those things in an environment like that, no? I mean, when we found that area, you had like 29 booths, quite a few of them selling food, and I think only 1 or 2 had access to running water, just basic running water. So we have done that, and we'll continue. We'll have a greening program that is going to. We started a greening program on Boulevard as well, and I'm talking to a group to have free Wi-Fi for like 10 or 15 minutes on the boulevard, on the main thoroughfares in Pickstock, just so that people can have access to data, they can learn, just something different.
In cases of emergency, you can use that. So, you know, in terms of educational aspect of things, you could use that as well. We know that time is of the essence, but you're also the Minister of Diaspora Relations. Talk to us about that.
We got one more, I think, critical program in Pickstock. Actually, in the first year, we've paved about 5 or 6 streets already, no? And it's cheaper to do asphalt, but in those communities, you have to try to create work for young men. So I did most of them cement. It's a little bit more expensive, but we wanted to create some employment in the neighborhoods. But we have the Hope Center that we're working on right now, and the Change Agent Center. So a portion of it is going to be a factory. The equipment is in Belize already. The experts are going to come in and set it up for us either this week or next week. And that is to make shampoo or bottle shampoo, conditioner, soap, and hopefully down the road we can get to facial products and all of that when we create this brand. And so that we want to hire mainly women, single mothers who want to improve the quality of life for themselves and their family. And then a part of it is a woodwork craft factory that we're working on as well for men to be able to go in there and to provide stuff. Far too often those things are imported when I believe that they can be done right here in Belize. Far too often we see made in Mexico, made in China and hecho in Mexico,
hecho in Guatemala.
Yeah, right. We want to reduce that. We want to have locally produced and manufactured stuff that go into the tourism industry.
You need to make the Belize.
Yeah, and then in the back side of it, because the compound is on the river right there by BWS, we're going to do a little, not a boardwalk, but a little platform. And currently I have 2 boats, but it's going to be 5 boats. There's a place called in Mexico, Xochimilco. They have these colorful wooden boats, and it's just a small waterway. Water black and you can't see nothing. The bottom around. Even if you jump in there, try open your, you can't see nothing. And what they do is up and down that, and then stop at location. You could get tacos, you could get your beer, you could get your tequila, whatever, no? And mariachis would jump on board. And so my goal or my vision is to ensure that we use the waterway from Belcan Bridge and further up to going towards Swing Bridge. So we have 2 or 3 of these boats being built. We have everything for it, the engines, everything, so that they don't.
I like that idea, John, because how many Belizeans included have really taken a trip up and down that river through Belize City?
It's beautiful.
You know, I would imagine so. I see it from the bridge, I see it from Tavern, but that's as much as I see.
And so what we want to have is key locations. The other thing that we're looking at right now is on North Front Street. We want to partner, and I'm this kind of premature, with the Northern Fisherman Group to put a nice first-class fish market and a boardwalk between Northern Fisherman and Belchana Bridge throughout that area. So we're talking to real estate agents about how we can access or buy the available lands there. They're a little bit expensive, but I guess that's the market price that we have to pay right now. So.
All right, so we were asking you also, just give us a quick run through of your diasporal relations, and how is that going for you?
I am pleasantly surprised of how we have built diaspora from nothing to something very impactful for our country. You probably know this, but remittances helped us significantly through COVID. For many families where you had people not working. And if you look at it right now through the central bank, the remittance is heading somewhere, I believe it's close to $300 million a year.
Wow.
And so the diaspora play a crucial role in the development of Belize. And they come back, they build second homes, they invest in small tourism ventures. And so, but they've always felt from my meeting with the members of the diaspora, they said they've not been given that level of respect. They haven't had the level of communication. And so we established the diaspora unit as well as a 501c3 company called Build Belize. I think I said the thing correct. And it's a registered non-governmental organization in the United States. And so they've done great work. Just after the hurricane, they brought in about $600,000 worth of supplies and food. And we distributed that throughout the city and throughout the country. And they've done a lot more in the medical equipment, laptops, scholarships, you name it. So,
well, you know, we're so glad that you were able to join us this morning. We feel that, you know, having these conversations enlighten the country or Belizeans as to what's going on, where we are, where we were, where we are, and where we want to go. And the buy-in is always the big thing. So we want to thank you, Minister.
Well,
Anthony
before I leave,
sure.
I just want to, I whispered to this gentleman the other day that he had applied for one of the media scholarships, and I've been told that he will be awarded that pretty soon. So
there you go. Show it for me live on TV.
For me, I'll say this, and you know, John, we've worked together before.
Of course, always a great relationship.
Right? So I believe the media has a crucial role to play in this country, but to me, you have to be fair, respectful, state facts, not opinions. Especially in an era like this where social media and a lot of misinformation is out there. So just go, do well, and come back and use what you learn.
Spread your knowledge.
And to be the best you can be in your day-to-day activity as a media or as a journalist.
Mr. Thank you. Very much grateful.
All right, no crying, man, it's showing up. I tell you what, we got to take a break. We're so grateful that Honorable Anthony Mala had joined us this morning. Great conversation, but we've got to take a break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about adult skills programs from the YWCA. Together we work. Once we work together, we can go farther. And that's what they'll be talking to us about when we come back. Stay with us.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere. Satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Get your body sculpted with gym equipment and accessories from Benny's. Quality and savings.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSD, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE So,
find us
and follow us
today.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we're moving now into our Second segment for the morning. Now, this one is all about the YWCA. I attended Y when I was in what, pre-kinder?
Did you?
Somewhere around there, yes. Yes, so I have
this
a passion
for young women?
Young Women Christian Academy, yes. Right there at Y. You know,
but you say you attended?
I attended. Remember,
so I need to learn more.
They also have a preschool, and for male or female.
There you go.
But they're about women empowerment, or actually, they are about people empowerment, but more so women. I attended Y as a pre-kinder.
There you go.
Yes, man. I did. Now, it's all about adult skills program, and in to talk to us is the program coordinator, Leah Brown. Leah, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning, John. Good morning, Paul.
Yeah.
Like you rightfully said, we are about women's empowerment, but we also are about the family. So we take care of the kids, the ladies, the entire family we're looking out for, because everybody supports the woman. When everybody supports, we have more strength.
Exactly. You know, if we take care of our women, we are taking care of our world.
Yeah.
That's the feeling. That's what I feel passionately when it comes to the YWCA. Excellent work going on there. But let's talk about the adult skills program. I don't think this is something new. You guys have always been doing something to make sure that that adults are with skills. So let's talk about this program.
Rightfully so. The adult skills program is something that we try to reach out to all adults, both women and men. We often have a lot of women in the program, but we want the men to know that they can also be a part. And we just try to equip adults with entrepreneurship skills, different trade skills where they may be able to use this maybe as a side hustle, or even if they want to make it into their main business. It's a 3-month course. It's about 2 days a week in the evenings. So for those who work during the day, you can come afterward. We have some classes on Saturdays as well. So we just try to accommodate for those who might be working during the day. It's open to ages 17 and up, 16 if you feel that you're equipped for it. But that's really what we're doing. We have some new and old classes that we're doing. The classics like the cake baking and decorating, the sewing, but we have like the hair braiding, which is something that we're starting up. And we're doing the nails technology with Miss Alma. We have about 8 classes. So yeah, we have a lot, and we have for everybody.
You know, one of the things that I appreciate about the Y is that it affords Belizeans an opportunity to build on their skills when perhaps their backs are against the wall and they're not certain what direction should I take next in life, right? And this provides an avenue for you to enter a space where you could learn something new. Let's talk a bit about how somebody can seek to apply or engage themselves in one of the many courses offered.
Yes, so we have many ways that you could reach out to us. We have our phone number, 223-4971. That's our landline. We have WhatsApp that you could reach out to us, 627-2348. And we have our Facebook page. To get applications and so on, you can send us an email, you could send us a WhatsApp, or you can come into our offices. We are open from 8 to 12 and then 1 to 4, Monday to Friday.
What has enrollment been like, let's say in 2022? Are we getting people coming in on a regular basis? Are these courses, I don't know, filled?
Yeah, so before COVID, actually, well, during the COVID period, we kind of struggled a bit with the enrollment because everybody was just focusing on just protecting themselves, and we also were trying to be, safe while we're offering these courses. But right after we started opening up the classes, they started growing, and we had people asking about different classes, which is why we were interested in opening up new classes for people who might be interested in the different skills.
So you've got things like cake baking, and it says what, Tuesday to Thursday, right? From what time to what time?
It's Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, Tuesday and Thursday.
And 5:30 to 7:30.
And what's the duration? For how long is this going to be?
It's for 3 months, about 12 weeks training, and it's 2 hours in the evening.
Okay, and then you've got things like cake baking, you said, sewing and stuff like that. I'm one of those, Paul, there's no such thing as women work or men work.
Yeah.
We're able to do everything possible, and as a matter of fact, you've got some great men bakers.
And tailors.
And tailors as well, and vice versa. You've got them in various aspects of life. Is this open to men and women?
Yes, both men and women. We have some people, the culinary arts. For example, we have both men and women going. We had a level 2 last rotation, and we had a male participant. So he was
in what course?
In our cake baking and decorating.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's open to everyone. I mean, we see the famous bakers and so on. It's not gender specific.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
Yeah.
What's the feedback when a student finishes a course? Are they saying that they're now better off, they have more skills? What do they do? What have you found that these people do with these skills?
Yeah, we've had a few successful stories from participants where they started making their own business, creating their own business. I spoke about, I think, Tuesday to one of the participants from our culinary arts course, and we were asking about around for a job, because people who may be starting their own business and looking for maybe workers and so on, they call us and ask us to see if we have, because of our skill training, we have contacts to people. And I spoke to this participant, and she was like, you know, I would be interested, and I'm glad that you called me to ask, but I'm just setting up for my own business.
Oh my gosh.
That was I was so glad to hear that, honestly.
Yeah. That's actually a success story, definitely one to carry around. I know during the, we've had, especially on Small Business Fridays here, where we've had a lot of successful stories, and I feel that, you know, with the onset of the pandemic, it's definitely one that pushed people to actually want to go into these courses. Now, we know that this is not anything new for the Y. Are we seeing a higher enrollment?
Yeah, we're seeing a higher enrollment here and there in the different classes. The more popular ones would be the cake baking, the nails technology, the sewing. We saw a big increase in our sewing class. Yeah. So we know that it's exceeding. People are talking about it, and they're glad with what we're doing.
Let's talk a bit about the demographics of those who enroll. Just to ask, where are your clients coming from? What's some of their background when they enter the space?
So we have a lot of people who are seeking to start their own business.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say single mothers, but mothers a lot. They may want to prepare for their children, or even young adults who are interested in going into whatever field we offer, whether it's sewing, whether it's the cosmetology, or whether it's the nails technology. Those are more popular with the youths.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about you, Leah, yourself. How did you come to become a part of the Y? And I wonder if people ever bring up your youthfulness when you come and say, yeah, I'm the program coordinator. Yes. It's like, oh, that's a big task.
I started with the Y. I was volunteering for some time, and then I started working last year, so I'm fairly new to the Y. I started working, and yes, the youthfulness has been mentioned.
Okay.
The amount of age guesses I've gotten, I don't want to repeat it. But I've had a very supportive staff and my co-workers and so on, and we work as a team. So it's really, we have each other for support in everything that we do. So it's been a great experience.
And what's the vision for you and your team?
Well, the vision is really to impact our community. We want to equip ladies and youths with skills that they will be able to be independent, they'll be able to support themselves. they learn new skills. We have many different endeavors that we do. We have the swimming at the YWCA, which helps you to advance your skills in swimming. We had the HELP program, which is another thing that we're going to be going into, which teaches young women about ages 13 and up to learn a new trade. And they give them some kind of remedial help in the different subjects in math and English, and kind of just holistically empower them.
Excellent. This is great. Yeah. But if I'm interested in the culinary part of things, what's going to be? This is going to be 12 weeks. But do I have to pay? I was going to ask.
For our adult skills class, well, we need the support of the finance. Unfortunately, we don't have a rich millionaire, any supporters, sponsoring our programs, which we would love. I'm just putting that out there in case anybody's watching.
There you go, John.
But yes, unfortunately, we have to ask for some kind of contribution for the 12 weeks of training. It's $430 for most of the classes, excepting the nails technology and the culinary art.
Which is more?
The nails technology is $550, and then the the cake baking and decorating is $550.
But I would imagine that the quality and the level of training you're getting speaks to the cost. And if you go anywhere else, I would imagine, and try to get that same sort of course for that price, you probably wouldn't get that.
Yes.
And then we have to think about the equipment, all the stuff that you need to actually get these courses done. More so, and what I'm noticing is that you guys try to make it at times that people are able to mobilize, which is, I think, the Tuesday, Thursday, and the Saturday. What are the times for these courses?
The Saturday classes are in the morning. The hair braiding and the culinary arts are in the morning. And then the evenings are during the week. So the Monday, Wednesdays, and the Tuesday, Thursdays rotation.
And they are what time?
5:30 to 7:30.
Okay.
All right.
After work?
After work, man.
Yeah,
fairly great hours. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about these courses?
We're starting the 17th of January, so we're asking that you can come in, contact us.
That's next
week,
Tuesday.
Yes. So even if the 17th comes, you could still check in with us to see if we still have spaces available. If you're interested, don't let that defer you. But we also have payment plans available. So if you're not able to make the full payment up front, you can make a down payment, and then within the as the classes go, you can continue to pay.
Am I able to pay online?
Yes, you're able to pay online. As you contact us through WhatsApp and through email, we provide the banking information. You can send us the copy of the transfer and a copy of the application form. So we try to make it as easy as possible.
Is the application online?
The application is sent. Well, it's not online where you can do it digitally, but we send the PDF form where you can complete it and then send it back to us.
All right. So we've gotten the information we need about this YWCA Adult Skills Program. Leah, it was great having you. Yes. And we do hope to see you guys again. And of course, best of success with the Y.
Thank you. Could I also please talk about the HELP prep?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
The HELP prep is a helping early leavers preparatory course we're doing. It's a month-long course, and that is also starting the 17th. And we're hoping to get both women and girls within the ages of 15 to 21. It's free of cost, and it includes different classes, which includes the swimming, it includes financial literacy, it includes the skills where you can choose between the baking and sewing, as well as remedial math and English. And it's kind of trying to go to the audience or the demographic of women who would be a part of our Helping Early Leavers program, which is a 2-year program. But it's really an introduction course. We're trying to reach out to the community. Like I said, it's free of cost, and you can come into our offices for more information or to apply.
Oh my goodness.
Our package deal
that's
for
a package
free,
deal
John.
for free, indeed.
Yeah.
There is nothing like learning new skills, and that's exactly what the Y is doing. Yeah. Great work from the Y, and we're sure that they're looking on. So Giovanna and the crew, we want to wish you guys a very pleasant morning, and thank you so very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you too for
right.
having me.
Well, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be chit-chatting with reps from the Belize National Forensic Science Service, or NFSS, about what they do. National forensics, definitely an important aspect of moving forward within our country. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, and that there is none righteous, no, not one." There are two great facts the Bible makes clear about all of us. First of all, we have all sinned. Secondly, all of us need God's forgiveness. I understand that it was Billy Graham's custom to get names of prominent people in the city in which he would be conducting a crusade to pray for them in advance that they would come to Christ during the crusade. Once, when preparation was being made to conduct a crusade in a large city in America, he wrote the mayor of that city and asked him to mail him a list of some people in the city whom he knew really needed forgiveness. The mayor responded by mailing Billy Graham a telephone book for the entire city. The message was clear. They all needed forgiveness. While some may be guilty of more obvious sins that incur greater guilt and consequences than others, the truth is that all of us have sinned and stand in need of God's forgiveness. How quick and ready God is to forgive the most vile of sinners who come to Him by faith in His Son Jesus Christ. The last act of Jesus when dying on the cross was one of forgiveness. In His dying moments, He cried out to God and said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." 2,000 years later, He remains faithful and just to forgive all who honestly confess their sins unto Him. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
There are 3 categories to choose from: budget, economy, island lux. Try our services today and earn loyalty points on each ride to get cashback deals on your next ride, or sign up to be a Madriva driver. Just be sure to have your police record on hand. Transportation services at your fingertips. Download the app today. Madriva, opening doors to new opportunities.
Hello eCash user, the eCash app is now available in Spanish. Changing the language in your eCash app from English to Spanish is quick and easy. Let me walk you through the steps. First, open your eCash app. Enter your PIN. Tap the More icon at the bottom of your screen. Choose Security. Select Language. Tap on Spanish. Then re-enter your PIN. And that's it! Your eCash app is now in Spanish, and you can continue to enjoy your eCash digital wallet. Belize Bank's eCash app makes life easier.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The daily obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's daily obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
The same thing we're doing now. Not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases, such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need to help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse.
What can I do?
We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in Carry Forum, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our third and final segment for the morning. Now this one is all about the Belize National Forensic Science Service. You might be wondering what that is. We've got the pros in to tell us all about what it is. As a matter of fact, in with us we've got the Executive Director of the Belize National Forensic Science Service. That's none other than my brother from another mother, Gian Cho. He's in with us. Then we've got the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Science and Technology at Galen University, Sherry Gibbs. We also have DNA expert consultant Jillian Conte, and we've got Kimberly Moran, who's the Associate Teaching Professor and Director of Forensic at Rutgers.
Good morning.
Guys,
yes.
good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you in. One of the things that I mentioned to Paul this morning is forensics and how it's a way forward. It propels us forward. It provides justice, and it provides so many other things that is really necessary for our country. But we hear about the National Forensic Science Services, and a lot of people might not know what we're talking about when it comes to that. And the biggest thing is the buy-in. Gian, what is this department about? The Belize National Forensic Science Services. Talk to us about that.
Thank you. And again, thank you for having us. Good morning to everyone and to our staff all across Belize. So the NFSS is a department under Ministry of Home Affairs. It's staffed by civilian staff. Right now we have approximately 55 staff.
Wow.
We have some vacancies. Full capacity, we have up to 68 personnel. Distributed across 3 units. The Medical Examiner's Office, which is one of the units that we're working closely with our visiting team. That's the focus of the conversation this morning. We also have the Scenes of Crime unit. We have 34 crime scene technicians distributed across Belize. And we have the Forensic Laboratory. We have about over a dozen analysts and forensic practitioners working at the Forensic Lab across 4 sections: seized drugs, toxicology, firearms, and serology.
Wow.
And so the focus of today's conversation is to look at how the NFSS has established a partnership with visiting academics through what we call the Rutgers Forensic Consortium, because it really started with Kimberly at Rutgers University, and then she organized a team of some of her colleagues from the USA to come down and work specifically on a couple projects that we asked them to focus on.
Yeah.
And locally, on the local front, we have partnered closely with Galen University on this program because Galen has an anthropology, a strong anthropology program, and one of our experts, a forensic anthropologist that works with us at NFSS, Belizean, he also lectures a course at Galen, forensic anthropology. So that it made perfect sense to partner with Galen as well as the visiting academics on this particular project. I'll just summarize quickly what the project is, and then my colleagues will explain further. So we're focusing on 2 main fronts: forensic anthropology in the identification or examination and identification of skeletal remains.
Okay.
So we have in our inventory at forensics archived skeletal remains. These are our human remains, spanning over the past couple of decades.
Wow.
Right, so these are quote-unquote cold cases, which may or may not have a criminal element, but just from the very fact that we have unidentified people, individuals, we have to ensure that we have ethical stewardship of their remains and do as much as we can, more so now than we did in the past, to try to identify them. They have a right to be identified. Their relatives, next of kin, also have a right to receive the remains and lay them to rest.
So these remains are not forgotten about,
no,
per se, or put in the back of a storage room somewhere?
Well, from the get-go, from when they were recovered, and the oldest one is from 1998, I believe.
Wow.
They were packaged and put in a container. So we're revisiting these skeletal remains. And this is not uncommon. This happens in several other jurisdictions. And we usually partner with academic institutions to go through the forensic anthropology work, to do bar profiles, and eventually would lead towards a public outreach campaign to get DNA samples from suspected relatives to try to bring closure to these cases.
So Kimberly, right to mention here, which he did pointed you out in terms of how the entire conversation got started. Why Belize?
So I'm very interested in how forensic science is structured and administered in lots of different countries. And I have a lot of experience working in Europe and in Africa, a little bit in South America. And I have various alerts set up on my email for interesting news stories related to forensic science. And I came across a news story about additional partnerships between the U.S. Embassy and the Belizean National Forensic Science Service, and that the American Embassy was going to be providing additional support. And they've already provided a lot of support in terms of various donations, bringing in consultants and so forth. And so I reached out to Gian. He had also hosted the 3rd annual Forensic Science Symposium that brought together a lot of folks. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have talked about that before.
We have.
And that came across my news desk as well, and it had his email address. So I reached out, and it just turned out that it was the right time and the right place, and we had the right project available, and then it just snowballed from there.
Wow. And then let's get to Galen University. Like Gian mentioned, there is a very vibrant program going on there. Talk to us about that, and how I'd like to go to where, for the fact that people are actually able to get enrolled. But let's talk about the program that you guys have at Gale.
Sure thing. We have, and hi, morning, thanks for having us on. We have an anthropology program that has an element that focuses on biological anthropology. And so Kimberly and her team came in yesterday to talk to that first day, the class, explaining to them what it is that they're doing here, but the areas within biological anthropology. And so one of these classes is forensic anthropology. What we did when we created that course early on, we paired it with an osteoarchaeology class, which takes osteology, so understanding and studying the human skeleton, and applying it to an archaeological context, which you can imagine here is, a perfect class to take if you're interested in archaeology here. Exhuming skeletal remains and being able to analyze them and understand the information and how we can apply that. We can take that skill set that you're learning and apply it to a forensic setting.
Yeah.
And so it made sense to pair it with a forensic anthropology class. And when we developed that class, it was in conjunction with a forensic anthropologist at the University of Indianapolis. And so he helped, the two of us, we worked and developed that course. He came down the first time to co-teach it. And from there, it really just took off. Dr. Blanco, who works at the Forensic Service, found out about it, was really interested in it, took the class, and now he is a forensic anthropologist, and so he teaches that class now, which is really fantastic, and the students are really afforded some wonderful opportunities with that. So this opportunity has been there for anybody who's really interested in anthropology and what you can do with it. So it's a little bit different from going the archaeology or the cultural anthropology route. You can get into this biological and forensic aspect of it. And it also pairs well too with our criminal justice program. And so we're looking at doing a little bit of revamping in that program to allow students to venture into these areas as well, to specialize in these areas, because as I think Gian has or will mention that there's more and more opportunities, and that department is really going to grow, and it needs to, and we've recognized that there is a need for this area, and so we're ready and willing to assist where we can with that sort of training and educating.
I wanted to go back to Mr. Gian. You were sharing one aspect of the partnership. If you would continue to expound on the other aspects and what is being asked of the partnership.
Okay. Well, before I continue on, I just want to mention that we have 9 visiting experts this week, but Kimberly and Jillian are also in the capacity of Fulbright specialists. So we reach out to the U.S. Embassy for support on this project. There's a Fulbright specialist program under the U.S. Department of State that supports visits like this, visiting academics, visiting specialists that come to our country and assist in capacity building and technical assistance. And so we basically separated into 2 projects, although they're very closely related. The other half is forensic biology. We eventually want to do in-country DNA analysis at the NFSS. A lot of requirements go into that, not only training, equipment, infrastructure, which is one of the biggest limitations right now, but also some of the foundational work in terms of legislation, passage of a specific DNA Act, which we don't have in Belize, also a population database to be able to do statistical calculations and likelihood ratios so that you can interpret the DNA profiles more reliably. And so to do that, you need to have a well-established study of the population in terms of the genetics, or what we call the allele frequencies, and that's where Jillian comes in to help us design a more up-to-date study. One was done almost 10 years ago. We need to update that, widen out the sample size, and so that's where Jillian, her specific role comes in.
So let's talk about who is it that we're engaging in this capacity building? Are we engaging, is it that we're engaging the students at the university, staff members from NFSS, and what's the model like in terms of the way the courses are set out and outlined over the course of the next few weeks?
Okay, well, for this visit, it's mainly my staff. We're doing actual hands-on work with my personnel. We also have investigators from police that are there in terms of looking at the skeletal remains.
Yes.
But in terms of the capacity building, the sessions and more one-on-one, it's with my personnel. With Galen, there's opportunities for students to just, well, they had some guest lectures yesterday, and they'll speak more about that, for them to come and sit in on the trainings, but the trainings are focused on the forensic practitioners in Belize.
So, Jillian, you're not out of the woods. Jillian, you know, I'm looking here, DNA expert consultant. And we spoke about the criminal justice, and because there's so many things here in this country that have just been swept under the rug, or maybe we don't have the know-it-how or the where-it-all to actually get it done. Then it comes down to DNA, which is one of the most important ways of how you could get justice. Let's talk about DNA and your part in this entire project.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, DNA is still very much looked at as the gold standard throughout the world for evidence testing. Yeah. It's scientifically based. We can apply statistics, which gives a weight to the evidence. Yeah. So it goes a long way in court, and we've seen it all on the television shows. So we know that it is going to, you know, tell us the answer at the end of the day. So my role is, you know, Gian brought this up that they want to bring DNA testing in country, and that is a few years down the road, but there are things that are important that we're doing now to get there, some stepping stones that we have to do. So my role here is to work with Gian and his team at the lab in the forensic biology unit, looking at designing a study that we call a population genetics study. So looking at the DNA of a representative sample of Belizeans. And from that, we can get information about how frequently we see that genetic information in the Belizean population. Yeah. And that's going to be different than the US population and the Mexican population. We want to make sure that we're getting this information, this data, specifically from the Belize population. That way we could begin to use those numbers, like Jan said, to do calculations, such as the likelihood ratio, when in-country DNA testing starts taking place. This will make sure that a Belizean is represented properly in the statistics, and that all races that are identified in the Belizean population are represented in that database.
Excellent.
That's my role.
Are we, and thank you for an overview of what you do. Are we hoping that through this visit we'll be able to identify some of these skeletal remains that are archived at this time? Because I look at the schedule and it seems that as if a number of days and a large amount of time is being committed towards examining these remains.
Point blank, no. Because to positively identify some of these skeletal remains, especially some of the ones that have been there for a long period of time, exposed to the elements, it might be some time before we can extract DNA profiles and have the control sample to compare it to. But during this visit, we need to start the process of updating the bar profiles that we have for them, so we can narrow down from police missing person databases who are potential suspected relatives, so we can, the next step would be to do a public outreach campaign for individuals who had a missing person during XYZ time period to come forward. So, but that can't happen without the work that we're doing this week. And we only have one forensic anthropologist on staff at the NFSS. He's also a medical examiner. His days are booked doing post-mortem examinations on recent cases. So having 9 extra pair of hands to assist and to provide, to lend tools, to offer technical support, to offer resources, both physical and virtual, ongoing consultation informally and follow-up visits, right? It will assist him to devote time or assist the department to ensure that we devote necessary resources to make these unidentified remains a priority and to keep them as a priority going forward.
So Ms. Moran, what are we doing in these sessions? What are we teaching in terms of the examination process? Talk a bit about
Sure. So last week we did a little bit of training for the crime scene technicians on how to recover human remains, both buried remains and surface remains. First of all, I just have to say that there are amazing things happening in Belize. Like the National Forensic Science Service is the best kept secret. They are doing wonderful things.
Yeah.
I think we in the United States have a lot to learn with some of the things that are happening here in Belize. So I am so impressed by the professionalism of the crime scene technicians that we have in this country. So they are, so engaged and ready to learn and develop new skills. They already have an excellent manual of how they operate at crime scenes. So we've done some training with them. We've done some training of the medical examiner's office staff, so how to take proper photography of the human remains, how to do the paperwork, what measurements need to be taken, how to inventory the remains. So right now, as we speak, our team is active in the lab, going through the remains and doing the necessary steps and training the staff at the same time. We're going to be doing additional training looking at forensic entomology, insects, and how insects can be used as evidence. So that's actually happening tomorrow. And we're going to be doing, again, some more crime scene photography training, medical legal death investigations. So right now we have crime scene technicians, we don't have death investigators. And one of the things that Gian is trying to do is set up a specialized unit to investigate all deaths, to respond to all death scenes. So we're going to be giving them some training there as well. So a lot of stuff. There's a lot of moving parts. When you have 9 people, you have different people in different places doing different things, but it's been really exciting.
I see that you brought what appears to be
a human skull?
Yeah. So it's not a real human skull.
Okay, great.
Because that would not be ethical to put a real human skull on television. So this is a plastic model, but I brought it today to show a little bit of what we're actually doing in the laboratory and how we establish what Gian has mentioned before, the biological profile. So the biological profile is all the information that we can understand about this individual just using markers on the bone. And we do a combination of non-metric, just looking at features, and metric, where we actually take measurements of different aspects of the skull. So one of the things of the biological profile is we want to determine if this individual is male or female, biologically male or female.
How do we do that?
Oh, well, there's lots of things on the skull that we can look at. So the first feature I want to point out is this kind of lump here. So if you feel behind your ear, you'll find that there's a kind of a bony area. We call this the mastoid process. So men have kind of a larger bony bump and women not so much. And that's kind of the theme through all these is men are kind of big and lumpy and women aren't so much.
Thank you.
So the next feature we want to look at is the area here at the eyebrow. So again, men have lumpy eyebrows.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And women, not so much. We have smooth foreheads. Another feature is here at the back of the skull. So if you kind of feel down the back of your head, and you'll feel there's, again, another lump. Men have a large lump, and women not so much. This is actually where your muscles attach. So if you move your head up and down, you can feel your neck muscles. Yep, they attach at this area here.
But is there like a certain measurement that you would say, okay, yes, this is a male, yes, this is a female?
Right. So there are so many measurements that we do all around the skull. Lots of different points here. You'll notice, even though this is a plastic model, it has these kind of squiggly lines. These are areas where the different plates of the skull come together. And so we do a lot of measurements at certain reference points. We measure things like, how large the eye sockets are, and we use all these measurements together to kind of come up, again, with a statistic. What is the likelihood that this is male versus female? Another feature that we look at is the jaw. So men have square jaws. Women tend to have kind of pointy, because we're thinking all the time, right?
Oh my God.
So there's lots of features on the skull to help us determine the sex of the individual. So that's the first aspect of the biological profile.
What I'm seeing there,
what do you guess?
That's not male.
Well, I think this is pretty generic because it is a plastic model. It's kind of hard. The next thing that we want to determine is the age when the person died. And one of the features that are very useful are the teeth. So I have here just a bottom jaw. And so our teeth fall out and come in at pretty predictable ages. So do you guys remember when you lost your first tooth? How old were you?
Oh, wow.
6, 7.
Yeah,
7 years old.
Yeah, that's about right. And then do you remember what was the first tooth that you lost?
You normally lose
the front ones, right? Right.
Yeah.
So we have really good charts of the different ages that teeth are developing. They actually develop inside your jaw, and a process that we call eruption. Very much like a volcano. The teeth actually come up and out of the jaw. So we can use x-rays to see what teeth are forming inside the jaw, which ones have erupted. We can also look at how worn down the teeth are as well. Your teeth are not designed to last forever. They do wear out. And so we can look from front to back, that process of wearing to determine the age at death. So we also measure the long bones, the arms and legs, to determine how tall the person was. And we also use features of the skull to determine kind of just general kind of ethnic groups. So that's the biological profile. One thing that's really important, though, is to also look for signs of trauma, disease, medical intervention. Did someone break their arm when they were alive and it's now re-healed? We can see that. So we're basically putting together people's medical histories as well. And this is why it's so important for the public, if they have individuals that went missing, to come forward, because it's through that information, getting information from loved ones, that we're able to marry that up with the science, the biological profile, to hopefully identify folks.
Wow. Yeah. Now this is extensive, but at the same time very interesting. Which brings me to ask Gian again. Now, in terms of equipment for such thing, I mean, we're just starting out, but do we have these things?
We have basic, and following this visit, we have some more. That's one of the support that's coming from the team. And well, the stuff that we're talking about in terms of our profiles, it's not advanced equipment that you need. The DNA aspect, yes, we don't have in country, so that's why we outsource our DNA samples to Oklahoma. But yeah, we do need to focus more now on the human resources, because like I said, we only have one forensic anthropologist. And the medical examiner's office is actually the smallest unit of the NFSS. There's only 5 staff. Actually, just next week, we're hiring 2 more staff, 2 more personnel. But I mean, it takes at least a year to train up somebody to have them become competent to take on casework. So focusing more on the human resources, while the government and the ministry, we focus on getting new infrastructure. We're also focusing on the training right now.
There are also development for the project team that's going on. There's an agenda that started with the introductory meeting with the project team lead at NFSS. I got it corrected there.
You got it.
So what is the remaining part of this agenda?
Okay, so as Kimberly said, as we speak, the bone team are continuing examination of remains. We have an exit meeting this Friday with the ministry, just to report out on what was accomplished. However, Jillian will be with us for an additional week. Like I said, Kimberly and Jillian are both Fulbright specialists. They came for 14 days each. They've overlapped for this week. But next week, Jillian will be here focusing one-on-one with our forensic serology supervisor, and we're looking at that section. Just trying to streamline some of the workflows, getting some of the foundational conversations and presentations done for the population study that we mentioned. But this, for all of us, is the first visit of several. We hope to have this ongoing support, especially with Galen, for visiting academics to come in and not only help NFSS, but also help Galen, tailor their programs so that we have a reliable source of future professionals in forensic science.
So what has been the takeaway for you following these lectures at the university as you envision the future for the university in this field?
This has been really, really exciting and something that I'd been hoping to see for quite some time. And so it's really been fantastic to see Gian and Dr. Blanco really take this on and understand the importance of forensic anthropology. It's been an interest of mine for quite some time, and so being able to see this being developed, having the students be exposed to these specialists coming down to see that this really is something. It's not just something that we've talked about in class, and it's one of those people do it out there, but to see these specialists, get to know them, hear about what it is that they're doing, and hopefully inspire. And I think too, just from the show, if anybody's out there listening, can be inspired by this. And I think sometimes some students or young people may feel limited to what's available for them here. and knowing that maybe it's just not possible to go outside, but that this is happening here.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they could come to Galen and learn about this and get these opportunities and then decide, yeah, now I'm going to go on.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to do, and know that they've been able to build these connections and that there is a possibility for them here, so that we're not losing people going and staying abroad, but that this is happening here.
Well, you know what, I think it's very progressive for the fact that there is an introductory, at least for it, and you know, then you could move on to higher things from there. But Jill, what will have been the expectations or the learnings from those who are actually now in this project? From whence till you leave?
For me, my expectations have already been exceeded about what I have learned. I feel like I'm learning more than I'm giving learning to those in Belize, and again, it's because of the knowledge that exists in the personnel in the NFSS. So we all have small different goals that we want to accomplish. One of my big ones before I leave will be to have a proposal in hand for Gian to take the next steps towards getting in-country DNA testing, which will be setting about to do a population genetics study. Kimberly will be delivering with the bone team the identification or the bioprofiles of the missing skeletons that they're working on. Yeah. And I think yesterday we had a lunch with the Galen University faculty, and we have some action items from there about research collaborations and ways that we can continue, even when we're home in the States, engaging with the students and the Galen University faculty. Yeah. And then, of course, interacting and continuing to interact with Gian and his team when we leave, and preparing for our next visits, and then what are our next tasks that we're going to achieve, and just keep coming down here and keep stepping forward and learning from all of you and taking a lot back with us.
And just one thing to add real quick. So the 9 members of the team, none of them knew each other prior to this trip.
Kidding.
I knew all of them, but they didn't know each other.
They didn't know each other.
So they've now formed all sorts of partnerships between themselves that are going to continue when they go back to the United States. So it's been really exciting,
Awesome.
That's
Well, go ahead.
That reminds me, just to highlight because they're not here today, they're in the lab with Dr. Blanco. Some of the women have come together, not knowing each other, and created a tool for creating the bioprofile of bones. And they worked on this before we came into Belize, and now they're actually getting to use that tool in a real life fieldwork scenario. Yeah. And they're really pushing it to the limits, identifying how to hone in on that and make it as good as possible. And that's something that will be publishable when we leave here as a great resource for other forensic anthropologists. So there's a lot of small things that we didn't expect to come out of this week that are just coming out of this week.
All right. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us this morning. It was a great conversation, very insightful. Now we know a lot more about the NFSS and their partnership with you guys and all that you all are doing to bring justice, the justice that Belizeans across the country, the closure that families across the country are asking for. So with that, we'll take another break and we'll be right back to wrap up. So stay tuned.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Welcome to Design Depot, home of GE appliances.
Welcome.
GE appliances are designed, manufactured, and tested for real life with long-lasting performance, which makes it a trusted brand amongst builders and homeowners. Design Depot has a wide range of GE appliances such as washers, dryers, refrigerators, ranges, microwaves, and much more. Manage your daily chores more efficiently with GE appliances. Good things for life. Available at Design Depot, all in one place.
Have you heard about the once daily pill that can help prevent HIV?
Pre-exposure prophylaxis, also known as PrEP, is a once daily prescription medication that helps you lower your chances of contracting HIV. PrEP may not be for everyone, so speak to your healthcare provider to find out if PrEP is right for you.
PrEP does not prevent pregnancy or other sexually transmitted infections, so it's important to use a condom every time you have sex and to get tested regularly.
PrEP, it's something positive to help keep you HIV negative.
You must be HIV negative to qualify for PrEP, so you need to get tested for HIV immediately before and every 3 months while taking the pill.
So what are you waiting for? Talk to your doctor about your risk of HIV and find out if PrEP is right for you.
Make staying safe a habit. Step up, PrEP up.
To partake in the ongoing PrEP pilot project, which ends in December, visit Matron Roberts Polyclinic or the Belize Family Life Association in Belize City.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Welcome back, and we have come to the end of our show for today. It was a very, very interesting one.
Indeed.
But before we wrap that up, Paul, you know, we were made to understand that there is an 11-year-old young girl, who's actually fighting stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
Her name is Shanika Pollard. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Her story, as to how they found out that she was battling cancer. And at 11 years old, Paul, when you hear about cancer, you would normally hear of it being in older folks. And this is a cancer that is now consuming the spinal area of her body. The thing about, interestingly, she is fighting for her life. At this particular point.
Yeah, you know, it's something we're highlighting to, one, show people how real life is and how great of a turn life can take even at a young age, and that it could be any one of us in this situation, any one of our children in this situation. So going into 2023, we should be grateful for life, but also we want to highlight Shanika Pollard's situation to ask, you know, for you to take a moment to send your thoughts for this family, send your prayers for this family. It was actually brought to our attention by Minister Mala, who was on the show with us this morning, to tell us, you know what, to give Shanika a little shout out.
Yeah.
And so we want to say, Shanika, to you, hey, shout you out right now.
Yeah.
You know, tell you to keep on fighting.
Keep on fighting.
We know it's not an easy journey, but just keep on fighting. And now you have the entire country backing you up with support, with prayers, and cheering you on as you continue to fight.
Continue to fight. Shanika Pollard, 11 years old. I could just imagine what the family is going through, having to look at her as she continues to fight. But like you mentioned, Paul, the entire country is behind her. The entire country is there with her. The entire country is there with the entire family to provide our thoughts and prayers to her and, of course, the family. Continue to fight. It was a great time. We had some great conversations. The 2023 vision of the Minister of Tourism and Diaspora, their Diaspora Relations, the Honorable Anthony Mahler. That was a great one of how this country is trying to rebound from what it was in terms of COVID and where we would like to go. Also, a great conversation with
Leah.
Yeah.
Leah she's a youth, very youthful personality, very youthful approach to program coordinating at YWCA. It's lovely to see that, and so we want to thank Leah, and also we want to thank our friends over at the Belize National Forensic Science and Science Service, NFSS.
I know.
Yes, we want to thank them for joining us as well this
And they also say one of the things you could do to check out what they continue to do and how they continue to serve this country is check out their Facebook page. They've got that. So the Belize National Forensic Science Services. Check out their Facebook page and continue to see the highlights of what kind of services they continue to provide to this country. Paul, we've got to go there. I've got a birthday shout out, a quick birthday shout out. Nisa Jaban. Nisa's birthday is today. Nisa, happy birthday to you. Man, I even tremble the voice, man, too. That's to tell you how special she is. Nisa Jaban, very, very lovely person she is. Happy birthday to you. It comes from your entire family, especially from your beautiful daughter. Of course, from your significant other, Uncle John, and from Kaylee, wishing you all the very, very best on your special day. We've got to go. If you've got any questions, concerns, birthday shout out, drop us a line at oye@channel5belize.com. Then you can also check us out on Facebook. We're on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, and of course on Instagram at OYE Belize. That's OYE Belize indeed. So you can check us out there, and you can drop your your pictures, your questions, your concerns, and what we do as well. Then you could join us tomorrow when you open your eyes
and start your morning right.
And as per usually, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
We're going to see you soon. Remember, it's a great day to be great. Continue to be great. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Have a beautiful day.
Peace.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your